She fed them, sheltered them, loved them. Then they ambushed her on her own doorstep. Ask yourself, how well do you really know the hands that knock on your door? Keep watch, because right here on Murder We Heard TV, we're tracing the full story from Facebook feud to courtroom verdict.
I fear no man. I fear no man. I don't fear their little pow-pows. I fear no man, because that's all they can do is shoot.
That's the message from the mother of Melanie Massé to the 7 suspects accused of killing her daughter in an ambush attack in Lakewood in February a year ago.
21-year-old Melanie Amanda Massé wasn't gunned down by strangers in a dark alley. She was ambushed in the daylight by 7 people she once called friends, people she had fed, sheltered, and trusted with her life. Have you ever opened your door to someone who later turned on you? That is the razor-sharp question at the heart of this story. When the faces you greet with a smile become the architects of your final moments, where can safety be found? Born September 10, 2001, the third of 4 children, Melanie's energy filled every room. As a toddler, she loved her cereal so much, her lips would curl in this funny way, her mother recalls with a bittersweet grin. Cute, a bit bossy, and carrying expensive taste, she wrestled with her siblings one minute and cracked them up the next. Her heritage, Creole, Afro-Indian, and Guyanese, wove a rich cultural tapestry that shaped her generosity. Friends said her door stayed open. If you needed food or a couch, Melanie found a way. That giving spirit followed her into her teens, even as life hit hard. Melanie balanced textbooks and diapers without complaint. She attended Central High, then New Legacy Charter School, a program tailored for teen parents. A diploma ceremony was set for March 24th, a date she'd never see. By day, she worked at Hope Senior Living as a medical assistant, proudly flashing the nursing certificate she'd earned. Caring for others wasn't just employment, it was a calling that aligned with the deep faith her mother instilled. In 2021, she welcomed Honesty Lorraine Dior Massé, the daughter who became her shadow at water parks, 4th of July fireworks, and Disney on Ice shows. Early 2023 brought more joy. Melanie was 4 months pregnant with twins. She told friends the future looked busy but beautiful. But February 2023 introduced a threat that began with Facebook posts, petty words that escalated into open hostility. Screens turned into sharpened knives. Melanie sensed it. "I'm so scared. I feel like I'm going to die." That text, preserved on her mother's phone, echoed like prophecy.
And in her phone, she just kept saying, "I'm so scared. I feel like I'm going to die. I'm going to die." And the next day, my daughter's life was taken.
Chautauqua tried to calm her, yet the dread only thickened. Lakewood, Colorado, Zephyr Street, a quiet block near Wadsworth in Florida. Melanie's ride dropped her at the curb. She stepped toward her front door, unaware of the coordinated ambush already in motion. Suddenly, gunfire. A volley cut through the afternoon. Bullets smashed windows, tore siding, and struck Melanie in the leg and the back of the head. In a final act of resistance, she squeezed off one return shot, but the assailants kept firing. One held 2 guns, emptying them until the street fell silent. Melanie, 21 and carrying unborn twins, lay dying on her own doorstep. Police swarmed the scene. Chautauqua arrived, frantic, only to be stopped by crime scene tape. "What I did see is them bring her out in a body bag," she later said, voice shaking yet steady. "No mother should witness that." Bloodstains dotted the pavement, permanent reminders of how quickly kindness can be weaponized. Lakewood detectives surveyed Zephyr Street and knew at once. This was no random drive-by. The bullet patterns, the timing, the angle of attack, every detail screamed premeditation. Officers canvassed doorbell cameras, scraped Facebook threads, and traced cell phone pings. Piece by piece, a picture emerged of a group chat that had metastasized into a kill squad. By January 2024, warrants named 7 suspects: Isaac Amir Piri, Jalea Burks, Monty Hayes, Riazia, Hollins, Trinity Walker, Dejana Abrams, Jarella Taylor. Each faced first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder for the loss of Melanie and her unborn twins. For Chautauqua Brown, the list cut deeper than any headline. I fed these children. My daughter housed one of them that was homeless. And all the while, they were plotting to ambush my pregnant daughter. Betrayal had a roster and, soon, mugshots. 5 in cuffs, 2 on the run. February 8, 2024, Hayes, Hollins, Walker, Abrams, and Taylor were hauled into Jefferson County Jail. Bond was high, community anger was higher, but Peary and Burks slipped the dragnet. Flyers stamped, "Armed and Dangerous," went up across Colorado. The reward, $2,000 for tips. Family, detectives, and U.S. Marshals chased whispers from Denver basements to rural bus stops, anywhere a friend turned fugitive might hide. Chautauqua despised publicity, yet pain forced her into the open. She built a Pink Heart memorial on the very pavement where she had watched a body bag roll past. Reporters found her there, ashes of her daughter in a small urn she calls Baby's Rose. On camera, she repeated her warning for every listener: black, white, rich, broke. Before you let them, even in your presence, it's time to interview people now. Her voice never cracked when she added, "I fear no man, because that's all they can do is shoot." March 2024. Jalea Burks, age 20, walked into a police station and turned herself in. Whether conscience, exhaustion, or fear of the federal task force pushed her, she offered no public explanation. A jail door clanged shut behind her, 6 down, 1 to go. March 4th, 2025. Aurora, Colorado. A joint operation by Aurora PD, U.S. Marshals, ICE, and Douglas County deputies cornered Isaac Amir Peary, now 24, in an apartment complex. He was cuffed without incident, bond set at $1 million. The last fugitive was finally off the street. The Massé family exhaled for the first time in 2 years, but celebration felt hollow. Justice, they knew, is a marathon of hearings, motions, and postponements. Late 2024 court filings showed a shift. 4 female defendants quietly pled guilty to reduced charges, signaling cooperation. Prosecutors hinted they would testify about who planned the ambush, who supplied the guns, who pulled which trigger. Those agreements remained sealed, but insiders say the testimony could lock in life sentences for the remaining defendants. With all 7 behind bars, the case enters its most complex phase: sentencing for the cooperators, trials for Peary and at least 1 co-defendant, and victim impact statements that will echo through the courtroom. Chautauqua intends to read her own, holding Melanie's ashes in hand. But can any verdict mend a mother's shattered timeline? That answer, along with honesty's graduation tribute, the spiritual strength that keeps Chautauqua moving, and the lessons every viewer must take to heart, awaits us. Spring 2025, Jefferson County District Court is packed. Press on the back benches, community members lining the aisles, and a silent row reserved for Melanie's family. One by one, the cooperating defendants shuffle forward for sentencing. The judge reads guilty pleas to conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Each woman, tears or no tears, receives decades behind bars. Prosecutors tell the gallery these pleas guarantee sworn testimony that will lock in life without parole for the final 2 defendants. Next comes the first full trial: Isaac Peary, accused triggerman. The prosecution walks jurors through phone records, Snapchat maps, and the ballistic report showing 2 guns, 12 spent casings, all traced back to the same apartment where Peary was arrested. Defense attorneys mutter about reasonable doubt, yet witnesses, the very friends who'd once plotted alongside him, now point across the courtroom. That's the man who opened fire. Sentencing day. The bailiff calls a victim impact statement. Chautauqua Brown stands, holding a small white urn. The chamber stills. "This is my baby's rose," she says, her voice carrying to every corner. "You took my daughter, my grandbabies, and the light out of honesty's eyes some nights. But you did not kill my faith. I fear no man. I fear no man." Some jurors cry. Even the court reporter pauses, fingers hovering above the keys. The judge delivers the final blow. Life without the possibility of parole, consecutive terms. Peary shows no emotion as deputies lead him away. In that moment, legal justice meets human reality. No sentence can rewind February 28th, 2023. The calendar flips back to March 24th, 2023, 4 mere weeks after the ambush. New Legacy Charter School holds its graduation in a small auditorium. An empty chair draped with a white gown sits front and center. A tiny toddler dress matches it. When the principal calls Melanie Amanda Massé, applause swells. 2-year-old Honesty toddles on stage wearing a lavender bow, guided by her grandmother. Chautauqua lifts the diploma and whispers, "Mommy did this for you." Cameras flash. For a brief second, grief bows to pride, and Melanie's unfinished dreams stand, if only symbolically, fulfilled. Back on Zephyr Street, the memorial grows. Fresh lilies, handwritten notes, stuffed animals sun-bleached by Colorado light. Chautauqua still visits, sometimes in silence, sometimes praying aloud. She speaks of the Holy Spirit, Melanie's anchor, and now hers. Tragedy. Honesty's diploma, the memorial, the story you're hearing right now. Each act pulls Melanie out of the crime statistics and back into human memory. If Melanie's story stirred you, like, share, and comment so her warning echoes beyond Colorado. Subscribe for more true crime narratives that honor victims, expose betrayal, and remind us all to stay aware, stay safe. And when you lock eyes with a friend, ask yourself, do I really know the person behind that smile? Because as Melanie's life teaches, sometimes danger doesn't lurk in the shadows. It knocks politely at the door. This is Murder, We Heard TV.